Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. 2024 NFL Mock Draft, Unexpected QB Skyrockets Up Draft Boards. Former Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy impressed at the NFL Combine, so much so he's now a top 3 selection in the latest 2024 NFL Mock Draft first round from CBS Sports. The New England Patriots likely decide between McCarthy and North Carolina's Drake May once the first 2 picks are off the board, with most analysts pointing to 2 other quarterbacks in those slots. McCarthy wasn't the only standout performer in Indianapolis, as several players enhanced their draft stock with league executive, personnel types, and those within the scouting department looking on inside Lucas Oil Stadium. With USC's Caleb Williams, UNC's Drake May and LSU's Jaden Daniels deciding to wait until their respective opportunities at Pro Day to throw, McCarthy and others tried to take full advantage. The Chicago Bears are on the clock with the number 1 overall pick and are still deciding on their next move with Justin Fields. The Washington Commanders, New England Patriots, Denver Broncos, and Las Vegas Raiders are in the market for quarterbacks too. Caleb Williams made it crystal clear that he's fine with whatever teams takes him. Until the Bears make a move with Justin Fields, the truth is, no one really knows what Chicago will do with its top selection. It's the first of 2 top 10 picks. There's a great debate amid Chicago's pending decision on whether to take Williams or potentially trade down for more draft capital and still go with a quarterback. If the Bears feel Williams is a potential franchise savior of sorts, they'll keep the selection. This is going to get sticky at number 1 if Chicago decides to keep its pick and isn't able to move Fields, but right now, Atlanta is a reported trade partner. If Washington intends on pairing Williams with recent offensive coordinator hire Cliff Kingsbury to re-establish the USC connection, the Commanders have to make a deal for the number 1 pick. Sam Howell did some nice things in spots, but he doesn't appear to be the long-term option at the position, and the belief here is Washington will go with the next best signal caller available. Jaden Daniels is the second Heisman winner LSU has produced in the last 5 seasons, joining former number 1 overall pick Joe Burrow. Daniels finished with 3,812 yards passing this season and 40 touchdowns to go along with 1,134 yards on the ground and 10 scores. Could McCarthy leap ahead of Drake May and fall into New England's lap at number 3 overall? Most expect the Patriots and new coach Jared Mayo to go with a quarterback in this position, given that early returns on former first-rounder Mac Jones are deteriorating. McCarthy's stock has risen since November, after he finished the campaign with wins over Ohio State, Iowa, Alabama, and Washington to help Michigan claim its first national championship since 1997. He's mobile, has a strong arm, and fits the profile of what teams are looking for inside the top 5. The most talented non-quarterback prospect is undoubtedly Ohio State's Marvin Harrison Jr., a player who would likely go number 1 overall if that spot wasn't so often reserved for a quarterback. Not only is Harrison a field stretcher with an elite bloodline, but he does the little things right and is a matchup nightmare due to his size and athleticism. There's a chance he could be better than his talented father at the next level if he continues to develop as an elite player. If Chicago trades its top selection, expect the Bears to go with Harrison if signal caller is a no-go. Drake May was one of the career record holders for the Tar Heels after throwing for more than 8,000 yards and finishing with 63 touchdown passes. He is a surefire, top 5 pick, even after choosing not to throw or participate in on-field drills at the Combine, like Williams and Daniels. May checks all the NFL boxes in terms of size, arm strength, and ability. If Minnesota needs one of the top quarterbacks available, the Vikings have to make a deal and move up in the selection process. Olu Fashanu had some of the smallest hands from a player his size at the Combine, but that's not going to be detrimental toward his draft stock. In fact, he still might be the first offensive tackle selected next month. Extra protection here for Daniel Jones, perhaps? Several teams could use a cornerstone tackle to protect their quarterback, and Fashanu fits that mold. He would likely have been a first-round pick in the 2023 draft cycle, but chose to return to the Nittany Lions for another season to try and win a Big Ten championship. That says something about his mental makeup and will to win as a player. Joe Alt graded out as one of the nation's most consistent offensive linemen last season as Notre Dame's most dependable star. Alt helped pave the way for Doak Walker finalist Audric Estime's career-best rushing outing in his final game with the Fighting Irish, an incredible performance that all but solidified top 10 billing. Alt kept Sam Hartman upright throughout the season, too. Alt is a guy you can give a long-term contract to and feel good about it up front. The Titans need help along the offensive line, and that's the expectation here, whether it's Alt or Fashanu, depending on which option is available to them. Jared Verse was a first-team All-American and first-team All-ACC honoree after recording 17 tackles for loss with 9 sacks in 2022. Despite being projected as a first-round draft pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, he returned to Tallahassee for the 2023 season and started all 13 games during FSU's perfect regular season. Verse recorded 41 total tackles, 12.5 tackles for loss, and 9 sacks. He earned All-ACC first team for the second straight season. The defensive end was also named a second-team All-American by the Associated Press. Like Harrison, Malik Neighbors is a big play waiting to happen with the perfect skill set that should translate to immediate success at the next level. New York needs all the help it can get in terms of additional playmakers, and Neighbors will be a plug-and-play star at the next level. Neighbors finished just shy of winning the Biletnikoff after a splendid campaign with the Tigers as Daniel's top target. Not only has he displayed great hands and route-running ability, but he's a menace to bring down after catching the football. Should Steelers be interested in QB Russell Wilson? To nobody's surprise, the Denver Broncos released QB Russell Wilson yesterday. A former Super Bowl-winning Pro Bowler, his tenure in Denver has irreparably damaged his legacy. They paid a king's ransom to get him, and they're eating the better part of $100 million to move on. That is part of the reason some believe the Steelers should want him. In effect, he is a cheap option. The Broncos owe him a ton of money for 2024, offset by whatever his next team signs him for. So that team presumably intends to give him a veteran salary benefit contract with Denver spotting the rest. If the Steelers have the opportunity to sign Wilson for relative peanuts, and almost nothing or perhaps literally nothing to lose, should they jump on that opportunity? If they do, they presumably don't re-sign Mason Rudolph, or go after Ryan Tannehill or any other veteran. One imagines Wilson can find a starting job somewhere in the league still in 2024, though. I don't know that he signs with the Steelers to compete with Kenny Pickett. Presumably, if they were to sign him, they do so with the understanding that he is the starter. But he is also a cheap starter in a year in which there doesn't appear to be a true long-term solution at quarterback, depending upon assessments of players such as Justin Fields. We do know that Wilson is substantially cheaper than Fields. In his final season in Denver, Wilson posted a 7-8 record. He went 297 for 447, passing for 3,070 yards, with 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. He threw a touchdown on nearly 6% of his attempts, an interception on under 2. In addition, he rushed for 341 yards, with 3 more touchdowns. The Broncos averaged 21.8 points per game in Wilson's starts, tied with the Chiefs for 15th in the NFL. But with Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy as his top targets, many believe he should have produced more. Obviously nobody believes he's the same quarterback from his peak in Seattle. He wouldn't be in this current situation if that were the case. Yet is it worse than the Steelers' situation? The Steelers' 2023 season has been put out of its misery, ending as so many have before in recent years, a disappointing, blowout playoff loss. The only change-up lately is when they miss the playoffs altogether. But with the Buffalo Bills stamping them out in the wild-card round, they have another long offseason ahead. The Steelers are swirling with more questions this offseason than usual, frankly, though the major free agent list is less substantial than usual. It's just a matter of, what happens next? Where do they go from here? How do they find the way forward? And you fan, what do you think of the Russell Wilson situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.